In a world where voices shape reality, what happened to those who cannot speak? This is the story of the voiceless.
I didn't have a voice.
What's there not to support?
She is a softie.
Sometimes it's hard to find somebody genuine.
Tell us how y'all met.
I'm gonna let you do the honors of that.
I met on. We met in the mall, online at a Chinese or Japanese restaurant. We was getting food, and
She's stuttering. This is how we met. We were in the mall. Yes, I was in a line, and it was me and my daughter. We were getting food, and her friend were actually behind us. I don't know how we ended up actually having a conversation.
He was harassing me, but
I don't harass unknown people. However, at that moment, we ended up having a discussion about a project that they wanted worked on and wanted done, and it's been history off and on since then.
How you skip all over the type of project it was? Like, how you skip over that skill?
Because it wasn't my project, it was just something she wanted me to do. So now if you want details of the project, by all means, please spill.
So the project was, a lot of people don't know that Olivia Tishaee, yeah, that's her, does sign language praise dancing. And I thought that was like really unique, and I wanted her to do to the song called, I don't remember the name of the song, but
See, she want to give details, show me the song.
but we wanted her to pretty much do the sign language to the song, and that's how we started conversating. How you gonna skip? Okay.
What made you both choose each other to work with as authors?
I was guilt into this, so that's how that went. But on a serious note, she was having her book signing for Empowered by Disadvantage, the first edition, and actually went to support that event, which was at Barnes & Noble's in the Christiana Mall in Delaware. So I purchased the book and went home and read the book, and the book was pretty interesting. It was just like, oh wow, like you don't really know a person until you know a person, and you learn a person every day. So I learned a lot about her through that book. So you want to add on to?
Oh, you left the joke part out. Okay. So she did come to support me, and what I will say, that was the day that we was already cool and we was peoples, but that's the day I realized that she was really a really good friend, because she was supposed to stay for like 20 minutes and she ended up staying for like 3 hours and like helping out with the whole event, because I didn't have like a big staff at the time helping out. So she stepped in for that, but then she goes home, and during we both had neck surgery, and during that process she's reading, and she calls me and she picks on me, because that's what she does, and she calls and she says, hey, I don't like you right now. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't like me right now? And she's like, oh, like I feel like I'm reading my own story or something
Right.
like that. And that's kind of how we started. That's when I realized that we had a lot, and the more we started talking and working together, me doing what I do, I look for certain people to do certain projects with, and I thought that Olivia was a great match, because she had a great story to tell, and she's already known for helping people. So that's kind of how we started becoming authors together.
Does knowing that you both experienced and overcame trauma in your life create a cohesiveness in your friendship as well as business relationship?
Depends on the day. And I know I answer that way all the time. It just depends on the day. Like, today is a good day. Today is a wonderful day. Tomorrow probably won't be. I'll be like, why are you calling me today? But no, seriously, it just depends on what's going on in that particular moment.
I think that God doesn't make mistakes, and I think that He puts people in each other's lives for a reason, and for us to have similar journeys and walk a similar path, we are each other strengths when it comes to certain parts. We don't have to like go into details when we talk about our lives and what we went through, because we kind of understand each other's individual pain, and we tend to be a good support to that journey and that drama. So I would say yes.
Does knowing about each other's traumatic experiences serve as a constant reminder to your own trauma?
No. The trauma for each of us was different. So it does not bring any of my trauma to the forefront at all. So no.
I would probably say no. What does come to the forefront is Liv is a real strong person, and to know what she went through, for me, it does make me angry, and it hurts me, and I think it's because she was so young. What happened to me, I was a teenager, so my pain and my trauma is different.
I think she downplays her trauma more than normal, but I mean, they each have their own significant amount of trauma.
How would you describe the difference between surviving and existing to the readers and viewers?
Surviving, you are doing what you need to do to get to the next minute, hour, day, month, year. You're coming up with strategies to get to the next moment. Existing is just us sitting here doing nothing. In this very moment, you're just sitting here. Like, you have no purpose for existing. But surviving, there's a purpose behind that.
Surviving, I know that a lot of people would say that we survived, and we did, but we overcome a lot of trauma in that process. And if you want to call it survival, then that's what we would call it.
When writing Voiceless, did putting your words on paper serve as therapy or free you from any emotional or mental trauma?
No.
I actually stopped writing a book for about 4 months and was not going to do it. I told Lisa, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you can pull the plug on this whole project because I'm not doing it. So no, none of this was therapeutic. None of this helped anything that had happened because the damage was already done. So no, it's more so awareness for the future.
It's therapeutic for others. It's not therapeutic for us. I think that's why we do the book, in a sense, to help other people, and show that you don't have to be silent anymore. But for us individually, no, it was not. And I don't know because my mind went blank.
So the answer is no, ladies and gentlemen.
Olivia, I heard you say that you felt that Lisa downplayed her trauma. Can you speak on that a little more?
Lisa says, Olivia's a strong person, and because of what happened to me in the age frame wise, she feels like to me, my story is more powerful than hers, but I disagree because any violation doesn't matter. Kid, adult, elderly, again, man, woman, child, boy, or girl, trauma is trauma. So I don't think anybody's trauma should be downplayed versus you putting somebody else's trauma on a pedestal. So I don't put my trauma on a pedestal. And I kind of wish she wouldn't. But she kind of hides, I feel she kind of hides behind my trauma to maybe not talk about hers as much.
And Lisa, how do you feel about that?
I think why I say my statement was, it's not trying to put what Liv went through as a pedestal. I work with her. She has a smile on her face every day. She has a smile on her face every day. And she, if you know her, you wouldn't even know if she's hurt or angry or having a bad day unless she told you. So when I read her story, it touched me to the core. It made me angry. It made me, and as you see, I mean, I'm emotional about it. Every time I read her story, it brings tears to me because no child, and I mean nobody should go through it, but most of all, not a child. And to see that she was so young and went through that, that's what affects, that's why I look up to her, because I don't think I would be as strong as she is today. Like, I don't think I would be able to function the way she functions. So that's why I look up to her story and her pain and feel that there's the difference between the two.
So I both heard you say that therapeutically, this did nothing for you. Like writing the book, telling your story, from a personal standpoint, it did nothing to you. Why is that?
For me, I never went to therapy. And I'm not against anybody doing therapy, so please don't take that the wrong way. But I've lived it. Doing this project, this documentary, and writing a book, it was almost like reliving it. Like the things that we're talking about and the things that were written, it was like it happened yesterday. And it was stuff that was just put in a trunk and buried in the ground, and we basically dug it up and reopened it. So it brought more anger to me again, and there was never anyone who came to rescue me. No one's ever apologized. Nobody knows what my insides felt like during that time. Nobody saw the bruises, the fractured bones. Nobody was there. So it's like it didn't help me any at all, because there was no rescue for anything.
So is it safe to say that even though you wrote the book to give awareness, that by the time you decided to venture on this journey, you were numb?
Very much. And I may be numb until I take my last breath. I don't know. We are on the block that I grew up on. We are in Pollock on Everett Street. This is the block that the dungeon is on. I'm gonna be honest, if we wasn't doing this documentary, I would have never came on this block, ever. I've never even attempted to come on this block. I haven't even driven down the street. So there's nothing good that I want to take away from this block.
What's going through your mind?
I'm ready to finish this piece of it here. I just want to get through it and be done at this point. Tell someone, go to someone, your next door neighbor, somebody, anybody. Don't stay in that place. I'm done. Hatch Middle School. This is where I went to middle school at. Left elementary and I was here. This is where I was learning how to adjust to being a child. Just down the street, I lived down the street when I left the dungeon. So that was my first foster home once I left the dungeon. We are at the High, AKA Camden High School. I graduated from here in 1996. I did the marching band here. Like I was part of the marching band for a little while. I did track for a little bit, did physical fitness. We roamed these halls, the Annex building, the D building. I never had any issues here. Everything was just amazing. I was a teenager here. I was in this building at 16 taking my senior pictures and I was 6 months pregnant with my first child. I didn't do my prom. I do regret not going to prom, but overall, everything about this was fun. I mean, my cousins went here with me. We walked together. We walked to school together. We took the bus down the street. There was a corner sub shop that we used to go to. The Panzerotti truck used to be around the corner, $2. We paid $2 for Panzerottis, and only my Jersey folks would know what a Panzerotti is. So you can only get them from here. But Panzerotti, lunchtime, we would sit out on the ledge, especially in the summertime, just suck up the sun. The park is across the street. We would go across the park and just hang out in the park. So we did teenage stuff.
So what was it like growing up?
As a kid, you mean? Let's see. I did typical kid stuff. I rode bikes. I played football. I played snow football. I did hide and seek, double dutch. I mean, I grew up as a kid to some degree. My siblings and I, we had this red wagon. I think every kid has had the red wagon. And my brother would push me in it and I would steer it with the actual handle. And because he was going so fast, I lost control backwards. He was in the wagon and I was pushing it. And because we were going so fast and he stared into the wall, my knee actually went into the edge of the wagon. I actually still have the mark to this day. So that's like a real fun memory that we talk about. I was about maybe 7 and we were all outside playing. It was summertime and he called me in and he locked the screen door so the other kids could not come in. And that was the first time experiencing what a hand job was. It was not comfortable. It was awkward. It was off, and it felt wrong. But as a child, you do what you're told, and you're not supposed to question your parents during the time we were growing up. So, dungeon is just what it says. It's a dungeon, but from the outside, you're looking at this beautiful castle, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful! You guys are this perfect and happy family," but no one understands or even has the knowledge of what's going on behind this beautiful castle that is essentially ended up being almost 6 to 10 year jail cell for me. So it's a dungeon. It's not a house. It's not a beautiful castle. It's not what you see with the naked eye.
If you could describe how you felt day in and day out just in that environment, what few words would you say?
You take one day at a time. You wake up and you hope you don't set the atmosphere off. And if you make it through that one day, it's a good day. But then you wake up some mornings and it's a long, draining, dramatic day that you just want to end, and that day seems like it never ends.
So would you say you would more days than many be walking on eggshells?
Absolutely. You're not even walking. I think eggshells had more of a backbone of what was actually going on in that house, because you can actually drop an egg and it won't shatter. But in this place, you are guaranteed to fall through the glass.